What's up, guys? I have my HDP50 Generation 2. I'm gonna just get some chrono readings with the HPA tank instead of the CO2 tank and compare them and just fire a lot of shots out of this thing. So the restrictor is in the handle. I'm gonna leave it in there for now because I just want to see how this performs, on air tank, on a CO2 tank, on a 12 gram CO2, and compare everything. And I'm probably going to use, I have 6 steel ball bearings in here right now. I put the magnetic catch in here yesterday, and trigger's still getting slightly jammed up, but it's not just like completely stopping. And yeah, I'm going to fire these, check the chrono, fire the aluminum balls, check the chrono, and then fire the orange nylon things and check the chrono. So I'll be right back. Just so you guys can see, I just got this filled yesterday. It's at about 2600. I haven't shot anything out of it, but I just got them filled and left. Usually if you wait a little bit, the pressure will stabilize, and then you can add a little bit more air. So I'm just showing you guys where I'm at right now. Alright, you guys, this is a 800 psi output tank, and it's the big tank. It's 62 cubic inches. It's just an aluminum tank. I'm probably not going to get any fiberglass tanks or carbon fiber or whatever, because those things are really expensive. 124, 126, and yeah, this is the first time I've checked these chrono speeds with my HPA tank. It is 58 degrees out here. 126, 130, 128. So those are probably not that great as far as like speeds, and obviously the speed is low. It's like 100 feet per second lower than my CO2 tank. I'm gonna reload with aluminum balls, but the main purpose of this video is to get constant shots going through this to see when the factory detent breaks, if it breaks, because it's actually pretty nice now. This is a 2.7 gram aluminum ball. .254. That's still probably only like 8 joules or something. 252. 260. 250. 246. And I think I'm out. Alright, you guys, I got the orange aluminum balls in here. So yeah, I just want to put a lot of shots through this detent with the various size ammos that I have and materials, and then we'll kind of get a sort of idea of how durable this detent is, if it's good or if it's trash. My Generation 1 detents, they broke after about 80 shots or 100 shots. So right now I'm around 70 shots through these detents. 388, 380, 390, 384, 382, 382. So I'm gonna reload again. Alright, you guys, I got the heavy steel ball bearings in here. I still have the restrictor in the handle. I'm still using HPA. Everything's the same. So yeah, I'm just shooting this thing just to get a detent idea of how durable these new ones are. 126, and this is what happens when I load 6 rounds. Sometimes it pushes that follower guide all the way forward. So I'm gonna fix that really quick. You just have to get your finger on it and realign everything. But you just have to be cautious of that, because if you need to use this in an emergency, you would get a dry fire, and then yeah, it's not gonna be good. 120. 116. 120. 120. 132. So I'm gonna get the aluminum balls. All right, aluminum balls are in here. I have 6 in here. I'll see if the follower spring gets stuck again or drops down. 254. Follower is okay. 246. 248. 250. 244. 250. And so far I have not had any leaking issues or anything ever since I kind of took it easy on the oil. And I put 1 drop I put 1 drop in the down the restrictor hole. I just put 1 drop down there before I started firing right now. Yeah, because I'm not trying to have that leak come back. So these are the orange balls, 1.4 gram nylon balls. 386. Follower guide is okay. 388. 392. 386. 384. 384. Alright guys, that was like 6 tubes, so 6 times 8, 6 times 6 is 36, and then 1 dry fire, and I'm still at about 2500 psi. So that's pretty good with the restrictor in the handle. I'm pretty sure if I took the restrictor out of the handle, it's obviously going to be hitting way harder, but I'm going to be using a lot more air from this. And yeah, this is an aluminum tank. It's 62 cubic inches, 3,000 total in total pressure it can hold is 3,000. So I have a 48 CI and a 13 CI tank. They do make carbon fiber tanks. This tank costs $30 because I got it on sale. A carbon fiber tank. All of them are pretty much the same, like cubic inches, like 48 or 62 or 65 or 70 or 26. They're all pretty much the same cubic inches, but the carbon fiber, they can go up to 4,500 psi. So essentially you get about 50% more air in a carbon fiber tank. If I have a 62 CI 3000 and I have a 62 CI 4500, that 4500 has about 50% more power, or like shots that you can fire out of it. So yeah, but they're like $200 or something, and that tank was 30. So yeah, it costs like 10 times more. Those are mostly for paintball. Because yeah, sometimes they have those speedballers where they just go through like 500 rounds in like 1 minute. So I'll be back. All right, guys. So that's about 100 shots through the factory detent for the Gen 2, and that's more than my original Gen 1 detents could handle. Because yeah, obviously this one's totally screwed, and this one was okay, but one side snapped off, which is right here. This is from the Generation 1. Let me see if you guys can see how like crappy this thing was. Let me get my light, my other light. So it's not gonna work. You can see how like translucent this thing is. Like it's almost see-through. Like it's pretty shitty. The new detent, it's like it's not see-through. It is squishy, but not as squishy as these. And before I went outside right now to shoot, I was tearing this apart to look at the detent, just to inspect it. It looks perfectly fine still. And then I was putting my PEX pipe, homemade little detents from 1/2-inch PEX pipe. It's like a PVC kind of substitute. PVC pipe or copper pipe. Some houses or mobile homes have a PEX pipe. So you can get like a 10-foot section from like Ace Hardware for like $8 or something. So I was had this torn apart, and I was looking at the factory detent, which looks perfectly fine still, like pristine condition. It definitely does not look like these Gen 1 jalopy things, like all screwed up. And I was fine-tuning my homemade ones so they can fit this whenever this breaks. So if it breaks, so if my HDP50 Generation 2 detent ends up breaking or tearing or ripping or doing whatever these did, either one of these will fit. And I matched it with the ammos that I primarily use, which is the rubber balls, not the rubber balls, the nylon balls, the steel ball bearings, and the aluminum balls. All that stuff I get from Amazon. I'm sort of considering getting the 4-gram Riot Ball steel bearing with the PVC coat on the outside, because that will be like a in-between weight for me, because I pretty much have the super lightweight 1.1 gram rubber balls from T4E, and then I have the 1.4 gram orange nylon balls, and then I have 2.7 gram alien play balls, and from 2.7 up to 8.4 I have nothing in that range for 50 cal round ball. So I'm considering getting the Riot Ball 4 gram. They're like white. It's a steel ball bearing with the PVC coating around it. So yeah, I'm considering getting those because it would be nice to have some in between weight instead of just having 2.7 and 8.4. Like I want something like 4 or 5 or 6, but I don't know if you guys have any suggestions for not 8.4 grams, but not 2.7, like somewhere in between. If Riot Ball 4 gram PVC steel ball bearings is like my only option, then so be it. That's fine. I just want something in between those weights for 50 caliber. And yeah, now I've shaped these. I'm going to show you what I used. So I saw this on a video from Sean from Less Lethal for Dummies. I also saw the magnet catch thing from Sean from Less Lethal for Dummies, so full credit goes to him. And I think Jeff Mackey, he has a video doing this too. So the PEX pipe, it's like a big ass piece of pipe, 1/2-inch thick. So cut a piece like 4 inches or so, and then stick this on a drill, and then you're gonna run it, and you want it to be long enough so that you don't stab your hand through the back. So that's why I cut like a 4 or 5-inch piece just for my first time. I've made 4 of these now because the other 2 are in my Gen 1s. And you just cut this until you get to the 5/8 step. And from that point, what I did, I don't know if Sean mentioned it. What I did is I got this cutting wheel on my Dremel. It's like super aggressive. It's a metal bit that just takes fat chunks out of plastic and wood and stuff. It's like spiral shaped. It's basically like a cutting grinder wheel. And I kind of like reamed the inside with this so that it could fit around the barrel easier. Because just using this alone, it was kind of hard to push the barrel over. It was getting really snug about halfway through. So I have this Dremel tool. You can use something from Harbor Freight, like Chicago Tools or Pittsburgh or whatever. But you will probably need either this or like a grind sander or something, just something to get in here, and so you can go around in a circle to cut those steps out a little bit better. And you leave one end sort of big so you can push balls through. And depending what type of ammo you want to use, for me, I'm using the aluminum balls, which are sort of small. They're like 12.5 millimeters. So I was made this large enough so that the 12.5 aluminum balls fit it good and they don't just fall through. So there's a little bit of tension on those. And then that's kind of like the smallest I want to make this, or like the largest the hole I want to make this. And the rubber ball, not the rubber, the nylon balls are pretty much like 12.7 millimeters, and the steel ball bearings are 12.7 millimeters. So those, I had to push them a little bit harder, but if I make this any bigger, the aluminums won't go through. The aluminums will just fall through, I should say. So if you're not planning on using aluminum balls, you can make these however wide you want. And since you have a 10-foot section, you can always just try again. So with this cutter thing, I pretty much just left a little bit of space at the end for the barrel to snug up against, and I just reamed out the inside. And this cutting wheel, it will just rip chunks off of this like really easily. So you're going to want to do a little bit at a time, put it on the barrel, see how it fits, take it off, ream it out again, stick it on the barrel, see how it is. If you need to cut more, keep doing that over and over. And it shouldn't take you very long, maybe like 10 minutes. And then you'll have to adjust how long this is. Let me get a tape measure really quick. I had a metric tape measure, but I think I left it upstairs. So this is pretty much about just a shade under 3/4 inches. It's in between 5/8 and 3/4. I think it's 11/16 maybe. It's like right there. But you can shape this however you want, from the 3-inch to right there. Or 9/16. No, this is 10/16. So 11/16, 12, yeah, 11/16 from the 3-inch mark to like the 5/8, a little bit past the 5/8, but not at 3/4. So it's about 11/16 long. You can make it 5/8 if you want. You just have to stick it on the barrel, see if it fits, see if it clears down here, and if you can put everything back together and snap the body back down. It's really easy to make. But yeah, you can make, out of a 10-foot section, you can make like, I don't know, 80 of these things. And I have like 60 magnets, so I could basically do these mods, the magnet catch and this, to like a bunch of HDP50s. But yeah, I'm not trying to just keep buying them and making them all ridiculous or whatever. But out the box, this Gen 2 HDP50, it's really pretty well made so far. I mean, the only thing I have an issue with is when I pull this and it's full, sometimes the guide gets stuck up there. When it has 6 shots in it, it'll get stuck. Sometimes, not all the time. It did it on this video right now. This may be prone to failure at some point, maybe, because one of mine was leaking from the TR50s. One of them was leaking, but this one and a second one, 2 out of 3 of these have had no issues. One of them had a little issue, and I put oil on there. Oil in the puncture pin area down here. So that was the only thing I've had problems with. The detent's much better. It already comes with the valve restrictor taken out, so you can get about 13 joules, 15 joules. I think with the steel ball bearings, I was getting like 19 joules or something with the CO2 canister, and you can easily take that out and get full power out of this thing. And when I had it hooked up to my CO2 air tank, when I had that restrictor out, the steel ball bearings were hitting almost 30 joules or 30 joules. It's not practical to use in that manner, but it's just fun to see how hard it can actually hit. when it's attached to like a large air source. So yeah, I can't 10 out of 10 this because this may be an issue. And so far the detent has been better than the Gen 1s. And yeah, since this sometimes gets stuck on me, but that's happened on all the HDP50s that I have, the Gen 1s and this one, where this, you know, it's maxed out and then I pull the trigger and then the follower guide gets stuck and then the balls will just fall out or I'll dry fire and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So that's the only things I have problems with, but it's almost smaller than the Burnett SD. It's a little bit longer, like a finger, one of my fingers longer. And then it's more narrow, and yeah, it's like $100. So for $100 or like 90 if you can get it on sale, it's pretty damn good for a little less than lethal launcher. And I can't use pepper balls out here. I don't know if, you know, if I pull the restrictor out of this and I shoot pepper balls, I don't know if it's gonna snap or break in the barrel and just get me messed up with it. I do have the powder, like inert stuff, and I could try it. When I tried my TR50 with this kind of setup with no valve restrictor and a thing in the handle, it was not causing the inert powder balls to break. They were actually, you know, flying out the barrel and not snapping. I haven't tried it on like a high powered, like 20 joule, basically fully open. I haven't tried shooting it like that with inert powder rounds. But yeah, like the T4E ones with like the hollow like plastic shell thing. But yeah, so far I like it. It's a good little buy. If you don't have a Gen 1 and you're kind of thinking about getting one of these, I would definitely get the Gen 2 over the Gen 1, just because if you don't want to do any sort of modifications to it and you just want to shoot nylon balls and aluminum balls, you'll just out the box, you're going to get, you know, at least 12 shots. You could probably get 18 on one 12-gram CO2, and it has decent power. And the accuracy is pretty good, because I was shooting a tin can yesterday and it was pretty much going right where I wanted it, or like within an inch or so of where I was aiming this. But that could also just be like me pulling the marker to the side a little bit every time I pull the trigger, kind of moving a little bit. So yeah, definitely pretty good. Yeah, I'll have more videos with this. I'm still keeping count on here on this detent, so I'm at about 100 shots. And I'm gonna probably pull the valve block or this CO2 restrictor out, fire it a few times, and check the joules, which is pretty much gonna stay about that speed and stuff once that restrictor's out. And I'll be putting more wear and tear on this detent, so I'll see if it gets to like 200 shots or 300 shots, or like if I'm tired of shooting this and it still hasn't ripped after 300 shots and I put various size ammos through it. I'd say that they're much more well built than the first ones. If it can withstand that, we'll have to see in time. So yeah, thanks for checking it out, and see you next time.